Right, chilblains, Springer here. Done a complete U-turn on everything. Funny how 24 hours can change your mind about a lot of stuff. Managed to find a carb heater that's coming via a UK Yamaha dealer from Europe. It'll be with them on Wednesday, and they'll send it straight out on Wednesday to me, and that'll depend on Christmas, New Year postage. It's the 18th of December at the moment, so might get it before Christmas, but that's not a critical part of the heater. But it's nice to know that I can get it quickly. And then on reflection, I thought the only thing that's really going on in my mind on this bank of carbs is that one of my floats is sticking. Even though I took the carbs out, had a look in there, made sure all the little needles and seats, the needles were working, which they were moving, but when the carbs are back in the bike in the right position, who's to say that one or some of them is not worn and it's sticking occasionally. So I thought, you know what, I'll get a carb overhaul, bottom end of the carb overhaul kit, which comprises of the needles and seats for each carb, the gasket for the float bowl for each carb, and then there's 3 or 4 little O-rings for this, that and the other. I figured I won't send it to Colin, my mate, not just yet. We'll see what happens. After tomorrow I've got 12 or 13 days off over Christmas, and I'm going to be bored stiff. And last year I had the escort project to keep me busy. This year I need to do something, so this is going to get done here. So I've ordered all the bits for the bottom end of the carbs to repair them, and while I'm in there I'll take out all the jets, clean them, carb cleaner through everything. I probably won't touch the top end, the diaphragms, because my symptoms are not of diaphragm, and when I tested the sliders while I had it on the bench, each slider was pushing up and springing back down at exactly the same rate, so I'm fairly confident the diaphragm spring slider needles are okay, but we'll see. But my problem at the moment is the overflowing carb or carbs, and it is overflowing back into the air filter again. So that's that. I figured, to hell with it, I'll do it myself. I've done it dozens of times before. What am I playing at? And then I also thought, you know what, while I'm on doing this, and it's such a struggle to get these carbs in and out, these which you can't see, the inlet rubbers between the carburetors and the head, there's a video way back in time, whichever way round it goes. Mine were perished. They had none of them. They're only like 1 mil of perish into the rubber, and I've got the original carb inlet rubbers on here, which are great chunky things on the outside, and on the inside there's a tiny little hole like that. So as I've said before, excuse me if this is boring going over the other stuff, if you fit the FJ 1200 carb inlet rubbers, they're the same, but the inside hole is a lot bigger, but the rubbers themselves are 10 mil shorter. So on the airbox, what I'm sat on at the moment, there's 3 slotted screws, and you need to elongate the slots by another 10 mil, half an inch, whatever, so that the airbox will then push forward, because you've lost 10 mil or half an inch of the carb rubber. It was something I was going to do at some point, because mine are perished. I've bodged them up with black RTV just to stop, and it's not gone through yet, but I figured, let's do this now. It will give me another 10 mil of space to get the carbs in and out if I need to in the future, Apparently it's supposed to be better. Now I've had a look at dyno figures for this. To be honest, these carb inlet rubbers on their own, if it wasn't for mine being perished, I wouldn't change them, because the difference it makes in overall horsepower is minimum. The dyno figures from various different places that I've looked at, you get maybe 8 to 10 horsepower increase at 2,250 revs or 2,500 revs, somewhere around that area. But at 8,700 revs or 9,000 revs or 8.5 or whatever, you lose that 8 to 10 horsepower right at the top end, because it gets quite lean there with these rubbers on this particular bike. And all the way between those two figures, whichever way the graph goes, the comparison is there's not a lot in it between the two. So I suppose you would say for a naked big muscle bike, the horsepower increase at 2,500 to 3,000 revs is going to be way more useful than the horsepower loss you're going to get at 9,000 revs. And to be honest, the first time this bike got to 9,000 revs was the other day while it was sat outside, and I was revving the nuts off it to give it a good clear out while it was stood still, while I was having some idle issues. Normally I ride around up to, if I really want to move along, 5,000 or 6,000 revs is plenty on this to get you going like a bullet. Occasionally I've had it up to 7,000 or 8,000, you know, doing a bit of back road, no cameras, hooliganism. And I think on one occasion I've actually had it up to 9,000 revs since I've had it, and I've had it since May, so six or 7 months. So that's that. I figured the money I'm going to save sending it to my mate Colin on his labour, providing it all goes well, I've decided to spend that on parts, do it myself, get the satisfaction of doing it myself, get the upgrade mod on the inlet rubbers, see how we go. If I do all that and I clean all the carbs out and do everything perfectly in laboratory conditions, which I'll have to set up, put it all back together, get the carb heater in, get it all back nicely. If I've still got issues then I am out of my league and I will take it to Colin, but at least all of that work has been done, and we can look at what else. It's just had the service. I want to do all this before I ride it, because I don't want petrol going down into the oil and destroying my big end bearings and my main bearings and everything else. So anyway, it's 8 minutes now. I did intend this to be about 3 minutes, so apologies for that. Inlet rubbers are coming tomorrow. The carb repair kit is coming Wednesday, and the heater is coming whenever, sometime maybe before Christmas. But what it means is my last day at work tomorrow, Tuesday. Wednesday I can take the tank off, get the carbs out, hopefully steady, springy. Let's do this nice and calmly and methodically, don't break anything, and it will give me a nice little project to do over the Christmas period. So I will film it. I keep saying I'll get a tripod and you can watch what I'm doing, but I never seem to get around to it. I always seem to be, once I'm in to something, I can't be bothered with the camera business, but I'm sure that'll change in the future, and it'll make it better for you guys watching. But anyway, until then, I shall be back in a couple of days, no doubt, and take care everyone. If I don't see you between now and then and Christmas, have a lovely Christmas, take care, best wishes. I've been Springy, thanks a lot.